Alright lads, welcome back to Ops Sniper, I guess is my new name. Just took the dog out, had a nice walk in the English countryside, got myself a little bit of lager here, well the shandy technically, and I'm coming at you today to give you some in-depth knowledge with my incredibly well flushed out knowledge of the F-15. I know everything about it, I'm definitely not being sarcastic. Anyway, before the update, there was an update today for the dev server. I should have really led with that. So before the update, the F-15s, the Charlie, as well as the one in the Israeli and the Japanese territory, could carry 4 IR missiles and 4 AMRAAMS. They've now changed it so you can now carry AMRAAMS on all 8 of your weapon stations. So you've got 4 on the belly, or the conformal fuel tanks, and you've got 4 on the wing root pylons. So this now allows you to carry a maximum of 8 AMRAAMS into a match. If you really wanted to, I'd probably recommend taking the outer pylon as AMRAAMS. Maybe you don't really need the actual fuel tanks now because you've got the conformal fuel tanks here. You can see on the side there. One of the biggest differences between the A and the C, and the E as well, I believe. So now you can take an absolute shitload of missiles into a match. I don't know why that's just changed. Did I press not save or something? Oh, I didn't press that, sorry. So I would recommend taking this setup right here. You've got 2 AIM-9Ms and then 6 AMRAAMS. That may be a good balanced loadout. However, you can take the 8 AMRAAMS if you so desire. It is going to limit you a little bit in terms of close to medium range engagements. However, I do think you could use the AMRAAMS as like a kind of all aspect IR missile really. They're not really as reliable as IR missiles, obviously, but you can fire them quite close, I think. Anyway, this is the same for the Israeli one. The Big Baz Mesupar. Kind of sounds like an Indian name. Not really too sure why the Israelis are dropping those Indian-sounding names. But again, we get 8 AMRAAMS on this point. Not sure why you don't get the derbies. You do get the derbies on the Barak too, though, but that is neither here nor there. On the F-15JM, they did patch this. They gave it the M on the name. That's a massive buff. It's now F-15J / brackets M rather. Not too sure what the M stands for. I'm guessing modernization, modification, probably. But again, we get now... We don't get the AAM-4s actually. If we take a look in the modifications, you can see that you now have to get the AMRAAMS first before you get the AAM-4. Now, to my knowledge, which again is very limited, I think the AAM-4 is a modification of the AMRAAM-B. I think. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, you can only take a maximum of 4 AAM-4s into a match. Now, they might change this when the thing goes live. We can take AMRAAMS as well. So if you really wanted to be strange, you could take 4 AAM-4s and then 4 you can take 4 AAM-3s and 4 AIM-120s, I guess, if you really wanted to for some reason. But again, just like the F-15 in the American territory, you can take 8 AMRAAMS if you desire. But again, I would recommend taking probably your AIM-9, well, probably the AAM-3s actually, because the AAM-3 is slightly better than the AIM-9M, I believe. So about 6 AMRAAMS and 2 IR missiles is probably going to be your most balanced loadout in my opinion. There hasn't been any sort of other changes for like the Gripens. You still only get 4 AMRAAMS and 2 IR missiles, and both the Su-27 in the Soviet territory and the one in the Chinese territory still carry 6 AIM-120 equivalents, the R-77 Archers, and 4 IR missiles. So the Soviet and Chinese planes are still going to be the missile boats. But arguably, the F-15 is going to be a better... It's going to be a better fighter in the meta, in my opinion. It's got a better flight model, and the AMRAAM... The performance of the Fox 3 missiles seems basically all the same, apart from the R-Darters, which seem a little bit shit. But anyway, going on to the main event of the video. This is the F-4F KWS-LV. No idea what that stands for, but it's known colloquially, or it's known in War Thunder as the F-4F ICE. Again, I don't really know too much about this vehicle. It does have the radar taken out of an F-15 Hornet, I believe. Probably the Legacy Hornet, not a Super Hornet, obviously. Actually, I have no idea. I'm guessing it's a Legacy Hornet. It's a more advanced radar compared to the original F-4F though. It also has 4 AMRAAMS. As you can see here, the AIM-120As. But new to this update or this patch of the dev server is we now have the AIM-9L/I. So what is this IR missile? It's basically an AIM-9L with the AIM-9M seeker. So what this means is basically it has the performance of an AIM-9L, except it has, well, obviously the seeker head of an AIM-9M. So you get the IR-CCM found in the AIM-9M. What it does mean is that we do not have a smokeless rocket motor. So we are going to be quite easy to see after you launch a missile because the enemy is going to see a smoke trail. That is going to be one of the downsides from this missile compared to something like an AIM-9M. But it has the exact same performance. Oh, ignore that. Slight modification. Crew chief isn't going to be too happy about that repair. But we can get a lock here. You can see that we do have the AIM-9M's kinematic performance and seeker performance, except we still have the smoke engines basically. It's going to make it quite easy to spot when you launch an IR missile compared to something like any of the American AIM-9Ms. So it is a big buff for the F-4F ICE because before it only got the AIM-9L and now we get the AIM-9L-I. So it's a little bit, well, it's a lot better in terms of actual performance, but it's still going to be able to spot it quite easily. That being said though, the F-4F ICE at battle rating 12.7, which is what it is currently at right now, I guess. I don't know why it says naval 12.7 because you only have 7.0 in naval, but anyway, it's either 11.7 or 12. Oh, I've changed this to realistic. Yeah, so it's 12.7 in realistic. It's gonna get absolutely dicked on. This is like the fat ugly white girl that no one wants to speak to. It's like, why on earth would you play this when you've got the SU-27 SM or even like the F-15? I'd even say that the new French F-16A, the 12.0 vehicle, it gets 6 AIM-9Ms, which is the only vehicle which gets 6 AIM-9Ms at such a low battle rating. I'd say that this thing is a lot better than the F-4F ICE. This thing could easily go down to battle rating 12.0. I don't think AMRAAMS are going to be that meta anyway, to be honest, especially if an enemy knows how to deal with them, which they are going to do about a week after the update drops. But apart from the AIM-120As and the AIM-9LIs, the rest of the F-4F's loadout is pretty mediocre. It's got a load of ground attack ordnance. You do have the AGM-65Ds with the thermal imaging system in it. We don't have a targeting pod for this plane, so it's going to be quite hard to get a lock at long range. You do also have the more advanced 65Gs with a semi-armor piercing warhead, but again, no targeting pod to get a long range lock. So you're still going to have to get pretty close to the battlefield in order to find a target. Got a £3,000 demolition bomb, pretty nice, but it's not big enough, if I believe, to kill a base with 1 drop. So you are going to have to take additional bombs to get a base in RRB. And at battle rating 12.7, do you really want to be ground attacking? I'm guessing not. So anyway, lads, that's pretty much everything I've found after this little update. There's nothing really changed, I think. Bloody hell. The Leopard 2A4 got a bit more modules added. It's got now a pump in the back here. If that counts for anything, I don't really know. It also has a slat armor actually modelled in the X-ray. But apart from that, I don't want to waste any more time. The F-4F's got a new IR missile. The F-15s have got 8 AMRAAMS. And yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night.